It's Oklahoma Archery. Everything archery based out of Oklahoma for Oklahomans. Let's get it started. Hello, everybody. I'm David Bosca.
I'm Neil Cooley.
We are on the Oklahoma Archery podcast, and we call it the Oklahoma Archery podcast because that's where we live. But, we're really kind of reaching out there a little further than that.
I was going to say we've had some Texas, we've had some Arkansas. I don't know if we've had
California.
Yeah, California, all the way out to California. Yeah. So I tell people we're mostly regional, but we cover all the big national stuff. So I hope everybody had fun watching Lancaster screaming at their TV at 7 a.m. in the morning like a crazy person. My wife loves it when the alarm goes off at 6:45 a.m. on Saturday to go watch it's her one day to sleep in, and that's one day I'm trying to get up early to go, jumpstart the day. So my sleep schedule's all messed up. Dave's flown halfway across the country in the last 4 days, so he's all messed up too. So we just decided we better cut an episode and fill everybody in
before we fall asleep.
Pretty much, kind of waiting on it there. So we got, let's see, today's the 27th of January. We're 4 or 5 days out from the ASA season opener. That's coming up. We're also 5 or 6 days out from the state OSAA indoor shoot coming up this weekend. So are you going to shoot that one, Dave?
I am. I'm playing. I haven't decided. After my fun stuff this weekend, I'm sitting there trying to figure out a few things. If I get them ironed out, I may go shoot it. Rick Gilly and I was talking last night about it. I talked to him while he was still driving in. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't even know it was this coming weekend.
Yeah.
If I go and shoot it, it will have to be either Saturday morning or anytime Sunday. And I don't know what's times available. I didn't know anything because I've got stuff set up for Sunday or Saturday evening already.
Yep. I say two years ago, it was sectionals, not indoor, but our ASA opener was at the far northeast corner. And I shot a Friday night at the sectionals at Arrowhead, woke up at 3 or 4 a.m., drove across the state, shot a qualifier Saturday morning, drove all the way back and shot the last half of sectionals Sunday night. So the fact that they are both on the same weekend is not ideal. The fact that they are both in the Oklahoma City metro, about 10 minutes down the road from one another, is 100% what we wanted to do. So everybody out there, just as on the ASA side real quick, hugely encourage you to go support the OSAA. Drag your 3D bow out there. You can shoot 60 arrows at the 5 spot. It's your 5's like that. Your X is the size of a quarter. It's a great event. It would support not only Jeff and Gail at the shop, but it would support your OSAA and your NFAA in Oklahoma. So shout out to Bryn Chapman and Jeff and Gail Steele. They do a lot to put these tournaments on. They close their shop down. It's a big process. So I want to make sure everybody that's coming for the ASA plans on going to the state indoor as well. The ASA for this weekend only is trickle start. It's probably going to be the only trickle start of the whole schedule this year, but we did want to do that to work around other organizations and make it to where, because they can only run lines here, and here. So we're going to do the trickle start on the 3D side at Trosper from 9 to 1 on Saturday and 9 to 11 on Sunday, just to allow people to go do that. So if you do get this is the soundbite clip. If you show up to the ASA at Trosper this weekend and show them your scorecard from OSAA, or if you took a picture or any way you can prove that you shot the state indoor, we're going to let you shoot your 3 arrows with the Genesis at 10 yards for raffle tickets again. So we're going to kick off the raffle tickets again. Anybody that goes and supports another organization and then comes to the ASA, I'm going to do everything I can to make that worth your while and encouraged. So this one, we'll clip this one and put it out. It'll come out before the rest of the podcast will, but it's $10 value. I can't give you any money off the qualifier. That's set by nationals. That's comes out of the club's pocket. Can't do that. But the raffle tickets are mine, and so are the prizes to give out. So you're going to get $10 worth of free shots at the Genesis. Joey Signs is going to be running that for us on Saturday, Sunday, and we'll have just a little bit more news on that whole process later. So,
you were saying proof of showing up. So bent, broke arrows, cut bow strings, things like that will work.
Yeah, I was gonna say anything. I mean, you always want to go post a picture and tag the range and tag your teams and tag your sponsors. That's just kind of archery promotion 101. But yeah, if you show us any proof that you've been there or that you're signed up, if you go hit the ASA Saturday and you're gonna hit it Sunday, we'll still give you your due. We want to do right by people.
Yeah.
Because that's a big thing. With Jeff and Gail have been involved in archery since I was my whole life, and they've known me for my whole life. And they Gail came up to me at the Southern Sectionals 2 weekends ago and said, we renewed our ASA numbers. They were 54 and 55 is how long they've been involved. So huge. I mean, if you can get shops like that haven't been involved in the ASA real heavily involved, it's like they have 20, 30 kids across X team and the X team squared, I think it is, or double X. There's their X team as their senior, and then they have their younger team as well. So they got 20, 30 kids running around out there that we're trying to recruit. And it bothers me that I have more clubs than weekends in a season. So you can't tell anybody no, but if you can make it to where we can work together, that's a huge win for archery.
So what else you got going on for ASA? Because we got a few indoors going on. We got the indoor nationals in mid-February, but I mean, locally, what do you got going on?
Locally, let's see. Went over the weekend to the Oklahoma Traditional Bowhunters yearly banquet. Got to stream clips of all their. They had keynote speakers. Had Tom Klum there. If anybody doesn't know who Tom Klum is, he's a fantastic resource for mental management, shot execution, building foundations. He does seminars and did a quick one of those. You had the Cody Greenwood from Trad Lab. You had Jason Grace, the president of Oklahoma Self Bow Society. So OJAM is going to be coming up here in the spring. It's the one where all the self bow people get together and you can make a actually whittle yours out of it's a blank. I forget the name of it. Travis Long's somewhere screaming at me because he's told me a couple times.
That is a blast. If no one's ever been to that, it's a festival. That's the only, I mean, I remember when I went to it, and man, I mean, it is a full-blown festival of what's going on. It's fun.
It's 4 days long. You can camp on site. There's shooting, there's workshops, there's vendors, there's anything you would want at one place with self-bow people. So, we got to go share the podcast with them and do everything we can to help their organizations grow. But they gave us a real nice shout out. Bruce Duncan is the OTB president. He said, y'all get with Neil. We're trying to push as many ASAs. If your club can host an ASA, this is the guy to talk to, or if y'all just want to do it. And we had our best thing about it is when people take initiative to get involved. I was talking to Brandon from way down in McAllister. He's one of our barebow shooters here in Oklahoma. And he said they all created a group chat for when they're going to show up to a qualifier to make sure there's 8 or 10 of them each time. And I was talking to Joey Foote, shoots trad bow. I was like, you need to do that same thing with those OTB guys, get you a group chat going and, just get everybody talking about it, get everybody excited about it. Because the year I took over as ASA director, Nationals eliminated the trad class, and it was, our decision to keep it going in Oklahoma. Because I'm like, look, you can't send me out there year one and tell the stick bow guys that they don't have a class anymore. That's just not. So we got to keep that going. We got to talk a little bit about that. Trad in Oklahoma ASA is alive and well, and we got some really good shooters at it. So it was great to be able to network with some people that can't really brag about any deer you shoot because they're all doing it with a recurve. It's like, man, y'all are so at a different level of bow hunting than me. But they had a lot of good keynote speakers. I think they had 5 of them lined up. Russell Yacht was another one, did a little clinic on saddle hunting. So just all kinds of people that are trying to grow archery and show you new skills and a new way to do something. That's that was a good networking event. Got to meet one of the leadership couples, Gwen and Troy Rutz. They do center shot. It's a can't talk. It is a faith-based, kind of like a NASP tournament where they shoot 3D, usually with Genesis bows, but they go recruit at different churches and nonprofits. So, they were intrigued about it. They've got their nationals coming up on the 12th of March. I think that's going to be in McLean County, not Maysville, not McLean, McLeod, something with an M, I'm pretty sure. So y'all check out Center Shot Archery. That if you have kids that are, they might shoot in school and your church doesn't have a team yet, they run that through churches and nonprofits. So it's another great avenue to get, kids that are wanting to shoot 3D interested in it. I think that's going to be a great working relationship. I told them, if you want us to ever come live stream the action or, do shooter interviews or coach interviews or stuff like that, and edit those clips, those kids can use it for a college hype tape or a shooter resume or something like that, would be great.
Where was this banquet held at?
It was a little building off by Lake Arcadia. It was just an Oklahoma Department of Wildlife building, right there, tucked off the corner of a residential right on the side.
Nice.
And they had archery gear. They shoot indoor there with Genesis. I'm not sure how to get a hold of them. I'm not sure who to talk to about using the building, but that would be great as far as classes, seminars, intro. They had the big safety netting all the way across and had some Genesis bows hanging there. So it's a great resource. If y'all, I've been doing this for 30 years and I'm still finding out people I haven't met and places that want to do archery that don't do it. And like, that's a win for us.
Yeah, that's neat. Right here in both of our backyards, first time I heard about it.
Yeah, and it's a great building. Big old glass walls. You see everything out there, real pretty. They had some targets set up out there, people shoot their stick bows with. It was a good little banquet. Had maybe 100, 150 people show up, and I think they must have gave away at least 100 door prizes. If there was 125 people there, they gave away 100 prizes. Arrows, bows, knives, saddle setups, you name it. It was incredible. I got a half dozen wood arrows and actual real long feathers on them. So I'll have something to you have to glue the nock on and glue the point on. So if I draw out at McAllister and you're a deer inside 18 yards, man, you got one coming for you.
Sounds to me like you got your wife some arrows. She shoots recurve.
I don't think she's going to be taking a shot at a deer anytime soon. But yeah, if it was bare bow, she'd probably be in. She just had to figure out the string walking thing and She's shot 3 times in the last 3 years, but she enjoys it.
Well, I've seen her a few times there at the range, and she looks like she's having fun.
Yeah. On the raffle games for this year during the ASA, I was running around last year like a crazy person, trying to talk to people, trying to organize, trying to facilitate. And the raffle ticket stuff kind of got pushed to the side. And seeing as how we had 60, 65 buckles to order last year and probably more this year, we're going to be working together on that. I'm going to be delegating that out. Joey Signs, if you don't know him, I'll have a video with him up later today so you can recognize his face. He's going to be helping us out run this. I'm going to do it through a committee, and I've made it a challenge. I found a way to make it a game. So I've got a binder that I'm going to send with the, if you haven't seen the spinning Genesis wheel of death or wheel of misfortune, it's got different target or different ticket values all over it. And you shoot 3 arrows for $10 at 10 yards with the Genesis. Those tickets are what you use for our bow giveaways at state, our range membership giveaways, any prizes that are raffle ticket based. Those are how you get your raffle tickets. And then you'll probably get one per qualifier for showing up. But what we're going to do for the committee is I've got a binder that keeps logs of how much money you raise for each given day, each given weekend. And however it's going to work is whoever gains Oklahoma ASA the most money at the end of the year, I'm going to pay next year. I'm going to pay their state membership. I'm going to pay their entry fee at state, and I'm going to pay their pro-am registration, practice range, team shoot, and known GPO for one pro-am next year. So you figure $50 to $70 on a membership, $40 entry fee at state, $110 and another probably $90. It's a $200 value. So, I'm not going to be at every qualifier. Joey's not going to be at every qualifier. If you want to be involved in this, process, if you want to lend it, because we had people last year that they'd come shoot the Genesis thing and the next weekend they'd be running it. You just show them how to work the switches and stuff like that. And it frees me up to be able to go talk to new people, to answer questions, to peer group, to, if there's a breakdown or anything, I can be there and I'm not worried about, I got to go get these raffle tickets. I got to get that buckle money in. So my goal is to not sell a single raffle ticket all year long. It is also my goal that there will be raffle tickets being sold at every qualifier, because it's a fun thing. The kids do better at it because it's a Genesis than the adults do. But we're gonna make it worth your time. So you're gonna get membership paid, state entry fee paid, pro-am all the way down, pro-am registration, team shoot, practice range, known bonus, GPO, whatever they call it. You're getting the whole thing. And if it's something that, if it's worth your time, I'm going to make it worth your time.
That's going to be a lot right there. There's no doubt about that.
I know it. And that means you got to come pick up the machine. You got to take it there. You got to be there early. You got to set it out and tear it down and all that stuff. So it's all of our organization. It's on all of us. So that's my delegation for the year. I won't be at the opener. It's my anniversary weekend. So I will be out of state. Trosper's more than Cape. They've hosted ASAs before I ever shot one. So
yeah. So this would have been the Vegas weekend.
Yes, this would have been Vegas. Yeah, it's good weekend to take it off, go spend some time with the wife, and then I plan on being at pretty much all the rest of them. So good luck to everybody. This is your last reminder. Get your membership paid now. Don't wait till the morning of. It's going to be hectic. So try to work with your hosts best you can. Don't be in a hurry. Get there early. Drink your coffee, but not too much.
Well, cool. What other shoots you got going in February?
After that, second weekend, 8th and 9th is G2 in Ardmore. It's Ryan Thomason down there. They're going to have a fantastic range. And then right after that, speaking again about the OTB, we've got Pawnee Bow Range the weekend prior to Foley. So 3 weekends in February before Foley, we've got a qualifier on each one. Pawnee Bow Range is a new range. They just got brand new last year. Delta McKenzie targets, full range. Bruce Duncan is one of the presidents up there. You also have Jamie and Scott Buchanan. Jamie was our former guest on the podcast. She went to Slovenia. So they got to go. We got to see them, hang out with them a little bit this weekend. She and her husband Scott had both won male and female shooter of the year for OTB. Had some great scores. I think Scott had averaged like 10.2 points on a target, and Jamie was like 9.4, something like that. So that's inside the 10 and the 8 ring most of the time. And they shoot a little, I think they shoot out to 30 even. It might be World Archery might shoot out to 30. I think 25 tried in Oklahoma, but U.S. Archery's out to 30. Yeah. So that is impressive. Getting to see people that can shoot a stick bow like that or a recurve. That is next level good.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that one. Let's see. And then you have the first pro-am, correct?
Yep. Foley.
They were talking, you heard a lot of talk about that this weekend. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
A lot of people are ready for it. A lot of people are ready for it.
Well, Dave, that's because nobody likes shooting indoor, okay? They're doing it until it's over so they can get ready for 3D season. And I don't know. I mean, if that's what Rick Gilly will say, he's like, I don't like shooting indoor. I want to get outside. I want to shoot field. I want to shoot 3D. Like, come on. You can't disagree with that.
Oh man, I don't know. I can. I don't know if it'd be warranted, but I can say it. Yeah.
So you went up to Lancaster with a whole bunch of a motley crew.
We had a blast. It was so fun hanging out with everybody. I flew in Thursday. I probably were wheels down and probably over at the hotel by 1:30, maybe 2. Was it that late? Rick was staying off site, but he was pretty close. I think everybody else was staying off site. Thursday, we know Sly shot. We know Tom Stevenson shot. And I think the rest of us all shot on Friday at different times. Some was noon. I mean, okay, here's a funny story. We fly. Rick drives 22 hours. I fly up. We're in Lancaster. I signed up right off the bat. He signed up quite a bit later. And I am on bail 133. He's on 134.
Yep.
That is so cool. I mean, we get to sit and chat and talk and cuss and yell at the scorekeeper and do everything all together. It's kind of fun. Yeah.
I got to shoot right next to him up there at Yankton the last time. And I'm sure there's a way they put a couple people in from your state on, because I've done it in Vegas and had an Okie next to me.
Okay.
I've shot with the same guy on Matthew Burns, fellow from up north, great shooter, great guy. He's like, "Hey man, it's you again." And I was like, "Oh man, are you on the early line on day 3 again?" He goes, "Yeah." It's the 7 a.m. line of shame on the last day of Vegas.
And Friday, I was sitting back in the chairs. I was glassing and watching Heath and
Tackett and Hilburn.
Mark. Yeah, Hilburn was on another bale area, but those two, they were beside each other. Yeah, so it was kind of neat the way they did do it. Yeah,
you see all kinds of people up. The guy I shot with at Lancaster last year is his first indoor tournament, and I was like, why Lancaster? Biggest one ever. He said he had a friend that got him into archery that passed away. And he's
okay. Yeah.
Like, man, that just makes you right in the feels. Been there. Yeah. He was a good kid. I don't remember his name, but I got a picture with him somewhere last year.
Yeah.
You never know. I've been on the line at Vegas and had a guy on the 3rd day of Vegas still undo his wrench of sight, tap him over and get back down. I'm like, it's Vegas day 3. Think you ought to be sighted in by now.
No, I don't know about that.
Well, I was looking at, I thought he had short bars. I was like, are y'all allowed like one gang adjustment, or how's it work for the short stabilizers and pin guys? He's like, I don't know. I'm just having fun. I'm like, right on, brother.
Exactly.
Well, that makes one of us.
See? Yeah. Fun, indoor, it goes hand in hand.
It's all about your mindset. If you go up there thinking you're the biggest, baddest dog in the yard and you're going to go prove it to everybody, you're just the only person you're letting down yourself. But if you go up there and say, yeah, I'm a 297, 298 shooter, I want to shoot 295s because the nerves are real, and you get out, that's all good. I mean, my division, when I broke last year, had to average 322 X's. I think 600, 644, 642, something like that was the cut line. And I've never shot 300 in my life. It's just, you're not going to go to the biggest stage of the world and shoot your best score ever back to back. And if you do, it's it's kind of a Cinderella story, like in March Madness.
And there was some big scores shot up there.
Oh yeah. Did you get to go stand behind any of the 660s as they were doing?
No, actually we were shooting while the second one, I think that was Matthias. No, that would have been Schlusar. We were shooting on the opposite side, down at the opposite end. And Rick was at full draw and he shot. And then that's apparently when that guy finished it up. And I mean, you could hear the crowd back there. Wow, just come alive. Rick turns around. He says, well, I didn't know anybody was watching me. He said they were all cheering for me and I didn't even know it.
Man, I'd sit there and watch Rick Gilly over any of those other ones. I mean, and to me, it's not that I shoot a dart and then Jacob shoots a dart, and it's that he's such a high level 3D guy to come out and do it on the indoor stage is, and I'm not saying Bodie or Matthias couldn't shoot 3D. I'm sure they do great at it. They're not what you'd call an ASA shooter. And then you see Jacob up there who's just getting ready to go judge targets. He's and he can do it. And you saw him hit all those 14s last year in those shoot offs. It's like that guy's got it rolling right now. Well, speaking of guys that have it rolling, what's up, Isaiah?
What's up, Neil?
How you doing, man?
Pretty good.
You getting tired from the drive?
A little bit.
Well, tell everybody real quick who you are, where you're from, and what bow you shoot.
My name's Isaiah Ryel. I'm from this outside of Enid, Oklahoma, and I shoot a Matthews title.
Matthews title, 38 or 40?
Both.
Both. Okay. Yeah. Well, you had your pretty good weekend up there at Lancaster, man. How was the trip?
The trip wasn't long as 20 hours can be in a car. Yeah.
That's rough, dude. Makes my back hurt just thinking about it.
Oh yeah, being taller and stuff is definitely hard on the legs and stuff.
Are you crunched in the back seat, or did you get to ride up front?
I had to be in the back seat.
Oh no.
Yeah. You didn't say, "Hey, I'm driving. It's all me."
I tried to drive. She wouldn't let me.
So how many was with you in the trip?
There's 4 of us in total.
Okay. Yeah.
What, with Mom and Heather and Zane McSorley?
Yes. Yeah.
Four of my favorite people right there. Should have piled in with the luggage, but working back from it's not a tear in the shoulder. Everybody, thank you for the thoughts and prayers. It was actually more of an impingement. So been doing some rehab on it, and it's feeling more like an arm and less like a something I'm dragging around.
Yeah.
So you gotta take care of yourself out there. If anybody's going through shoulder problems, shoot us a message and I'll send you some videos for some posture corrective stretches. But Isaiah didn't have that problem. He's 17, 18? 17. So he's got good eyes and good muscles, and he's pretty much bulletproof. And we all know it because he beats up on us week in and week out. But you got to go up to the big stage. Tell them what class you were and tell them about your qualification rounds.
I was in the young adult class, and I shot a 6:37 for my qualification round for it.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah. We were standing there. We was watching.
Yeah.
So what'd that seed you as?
That put me, I think I was 25th or 26th.
Okay. And they break 32?
32 in that class made it for shoot downs.
Okay. So they took 4 to the last day.
Yes.
And 32 on Saturday. So
Yes,
if you're like me and you go to Lancaster, you're done after one day. If you make the cuts, you do head to head on Saturday, and then most of the finals are Sunday.
Yes. There's a couple finals Saturday, but I don't remember which classes it was though.
Well, tell everybody, we'll let you start at the beginning. When did y'all show up?
We showed up, I think it was Wednesday, I think at noon. We shot at the actual Lancaster shop.
Tell everybody what that's like and the experience, because, not everybody's going to get to roll up that direction.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's definitely tight. I mean, there's not a whole lot of room, especially you get quite a bit of people and they're trying to shoot. There's not a whole lot of room in there.
Did you shoot in the basement or that other building?
We tried in the basement, but there's no room, so we shot in another building.
Okay.
And that's the one that's right on site there with the big warehouse, and you can
Yes.
go. So everything in the world archery. What's the first thing you want to buy?
First thing I bought there is some knocks. I was running low on them. That was just the first thing I saw, and that's the first thing I needed.
Do you change your knocks out before a big tournament?
No, I normally run the same ones, but from previous shoots and stuff, I broke knocks. I had to get some more.
Remember Dave used to change his every other month, and then it was every month, and then I don't know if he changes them anymore.
Well, I haven't shot that much this year, but it would be in every other. It's according to which knock itself. If it's a pin knock, I'm changing them every month. Right now I'm shooting the East and the Super 3Ds. So they're a little more durable than some of them pin knocks. Yeah. Well, you mentioned which bow you got, which one you're shooting. Let's just talk this weekend. Tell everyone about your setup, all about it.
So for the Lancaster, I ran the Title 40 with a true ball bar with shoot housing and bee stinger bars and gold tip arrows, and I run the Scott Apex release.
Which arrows, bud?
I shot the triple X's for that.
Triple X. There you go.
A little bigger diameter than you're used to, huh?
I don't know. They've been working out pretty good for me. I've shot quite a bit of jackpots with them and done pretty good.
You have to bounce back and forth between your 23s for the U.S. Archery?
Yeah, that's what I keep trying to switch them back and forth, one bow for that. But then you got 3D, and I want to run a lighter, faster arrow, so it's kind of bouncing back and forth between everything.
What kind of rest do you have? Do you have one that you can use as a swap?
I run the Trinity.
Okay, the drop away.
Yeah.
So tell us about your bars. What's your lengths and weights?
So I run 30-inch with 12 on the back. I think I'm setting 17, 18 ounces on front and about 30 ounces on the back.
How much on the front?
Like 18, 17, and 30 on the back.
Good land, you're a young man.
That's actually lighter than I've seen him run previous to this year.
I know last 3D season I was probably 20 on the front with about 36 on the back.
Golly, Isaiah, that's huffing it.
And that's split between the V bars. And are you still running a short one on one side with them offset kind of like this?
No, I'm running a single bar right now.
Single bar. Oh my gosh. So you're like Dave, you tore it down and redid it before the big shoot.
Well, I'd switched probably 2 jackpots ago. I switched back to the single bar, just trying it out.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. It's what you want to do, shoot under pressure and see what works, right?
Yeah, that's the best way to figure out what works.
All right, you shot there Wednesday, Thursday. More and more people started showing up. Did y'all stay off-site or on-site?
We stayed off site.
Okay, so you travel back and forth. When did you pull in Thursday? Did you get there and did y'all do anything, or did you go sightseeing?
Thursday, we just kind of hung out. We got there early that morning, shot, then we kind of hung out at the hotel after.
All right, you go through all the booths they had there for all the vendors.
Yeah, I went there and looked at all of them.
Did you when to shop? Did you go, hey, I'd like to have this, or did you play with any releases? Or
There's definitely a lot of stuff I'd like to have, but kind of gotta keep it down where knowing what stuff I need and what I really don't need.
what you need and what you want's two different things.
Yes.
Lancaster's actually one of the safer places to window shop because Lancaster's right there. They don't let them sell product. They just let them display only.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I was like, I need some nocks, I need some arrows, I need some pin bushings for this and that. And I'd go to every booth and they'd be like, check the Lancaster trailer. If they don't have them, the store's 10 minutes away.
oh yeah.
And I was so confused. I was like, I had everybody back home calling me, Bobby Johnson, everybody, hey, get me some points or some veins or this or that. And I'd just go to the booth and, hey, y'all got that 2.5 inch, spin vein or whatever I needed. And they were all just kind of giggle at me and I couldn't figure out what the deal is. Well, they're display only. It's at Lancaster. You don't need to bring anything.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It took me about a day and a half to realize that and felt extra smart once again.
So what time did you shot Friday or Thursday?
I shot Friday at, I think, was it 8:30? I think the early line was. Yeah.
If I remember right, I remember going in and watching. That's where he is at. Yeah. So tell. Was this your first time to be able to go up there, Isaiah?
Yes.
Well, what'd you think going in, and then just all of a sudden there was boom crowds? There
are definitely a lot of people there. I mean, I just kind of, when you go to a new shoot, big shoot, you don't really expect too much, but I just kind of went in there trying to shoot the best I could.
Isn't the facility? Wouldn't you love to have something like that around here?
Oh, yeah, that'd be nice.
I mean, okay, there we were. We had 3,000 shooters, plus parents, plus uncles, grandmas, grandpas, more people walking around than there were shooters. And at the other end of this facility the weekend before, they had over 10,000 soccer players.
Yeah.
It was crazy. That place is just, it's enormous. It is. It's an amazing facility to go shoot at. So, okay, you get to the line 8:30 and you start shooting. How's it going?
It is going. So I started off, I mean, I cleaned my first in, and then I dropped one on my second one. And I kind of threw some more points around, nerves were kind of kicking my butt a little bit, but then I kind of, last half, I figured it out and just started. I mean, at the point you drop points, you kind of just, at that point you drop them, it's just time to hit the center and you just kind of get in that groove.
How do you do that? How does Isaiah focus and do that?
So for me, when I drop points, my nerves start just dropping because at the point you drop them, you're not clean or anything, so you can just kind of focus on shot and hitting center.
You focus on shot process then. There you go. Okay.
I know recently you had your grip break in the middle of Southern sectionals. So you change back to side plates? You have another grip come in, and I know you've been kind of changing the way you put your hand in the bow a little bit.
So after it broke that night, I got back home and I super glued it back together. I shot the same grip and everything at Lancaster.
There you go. Just roll with it, dude.
Yeah. And that's the wide. I believe you're shooting that wide one, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's hard changing your grip during the tournament, before the tournament. It just makes so many different things, like your draw length and your peep sight height. Did you have to go back and, because I know you were kind of scrambling at sectionals to get it put back together to keep shooting. Did you do anything to it you had to put back?
No, I had a 6-degree angle on it and I dropped it all. I think it was a 3 or 0. I've been fighting my grip a lot. I have a hard time putting my hand in the same spot, and I'm just trying to figure out the best angle and everything to keep that same spot going.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I struggled with that when I first switched out, and the one I've got, at least it's got a groove right in the center of the front of the handle, and I've gotten to where I can find a location for my fingers, and if I can put them fingers in that same spot, at least I can do that.
Yeah.
I've heard of people taping threads or rope or something over to the other side, and then they'll get that angle for their fingers, and even if it's at a degree, if all them fingers are touching it, then they know that handle is in the same, or that hand is in the same position. So the food for thought, nothing else. I mean, take a file and do it. I mean, hey, get after it.
Yeah.
I say shameless plug right here is the George's Gizmo grip. And this is a custom one that he said his dad had a riser like this. And I don't know if y'all can see these little ridges on there. Boy, you feel every one of them in the palm of your hand. And when you get that bow back, you got those little dots right in there, and you can tell exactly where it is every shot, time after time. It's like, oh yeah, there's that. And you can take these down and sand them, if just like the Bomar nose button. If it's too sharp for you, kind of take a little off and get it to where it's. And that's what I've been enjoying about them, is that I know when I put that hand in there and get a full draw, it is just right there. And I'm more like this. I'm like this, gripping it. And Heath and Sly and everybody want me to turn out that 45 degree and curl those fingers like that. And you can see the imprint of them when you're done shooting about 3 to 5 arrows. You'll know exactly where you're at, and you feel it. So Adam George is the guy that makes those. If y'all need a aftermarket grip, he can do whatever degree, negative degree, color, you name it. They just snap on and off. But I haven't had one of those break yet, but I got my super glue ready.
Super glue definitely works if they break.
Well, yeah.
Go ahead.
It takes just about a little less than a 1/4 inch draw length out. So if I popped it off, I'd be a little bit too long and have to, twist a string up just a little bit or something else. And then your peep sight height's changing. And I don't shoot good enough that it matters, but I can tell I'm ducking down in or I'm peering up top to get that thing. So you notice when little minor stuff like that changes and messes with your alignment and everything else.
Yeah. I remember walking up, you were shooting on that mid-morning and everything, and I seen your mom sitting there, and I walked over and was talking with her, and I says, well, how's mom doing? She said, nervous, just nervous. So how is it as a shooter, a young man shooting, when you look back and you see her and she's either biting nails, or is she a backseat driver, or do you just don't ignore, or you ignore her?
I just kind of ignore her, and
hey, this is just between us. You'll never know what we're saying. Yeah. So you ignore, you let her do her nervousness. You get up there and do yours. Okay, you got through. You finished up.
Mm-hmm.
That was your only day to shoot there? And tell us about that second shoot you went and did. I'm not real familiar, other than I know you guys all shot it.
Yeah, it was just kind of an extra scholarship deal for scholarship money.
Okay, that's what that was for. Okay, I was wondering, and who puts that on? I know it's part of the Lancaster shoot, but it had a different name.
It was the Easton Collegiate shoot or something like that, I think.
Okay, so it's backed and or sponsored by Easton then.
Yeah,
but probably their foundation. That makes a lot of sense. Yeah. How'd that go for you?
I shot a 644 for that one.
Little jump there. Good job. Yeah.
The nerves are kind of all gone, especially after shooting the shoot downs. It just.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. That was Saturday morning, wasn't it?
Saturday morning, and then I shot another shoot at 2 that day.
Just tell everyone how the whole format of the tournament and then the shoot down goes. Tell everyone that.
So you'll shoot 660 for clean score, and then top 32 after everybody shoots will go into a shoot down, and then you'll do, I think it's 4 ends of scoring, and they'll just keep working down until they've got 4 people left, and those 4 make it down to the final shoot down.
Okay. And so you gone head to head. The first one you won.
I won that one, and then my second one I lost by 1 point.
I would say we were standing there watching, and we knew it was the last shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were like, nah. We were all ready to. If we'd had a spit water or something, we'd have shot that kid in the back of the neck or something.
No, the kid dropped a 10 on his last one. He needed to drop 1 more point so we could do a 1 arrow shoot off.
Yeah, you were prepared for that.
I was ready for it if it came down to it.
Yeah.
Well, I saw during the shoot off you were standing up there next to William Alterson. You'd seen him before. He's from New York, but he spends the summer in Oklahoma because he works for the Buck Ventures guy, Jeff Danker, just killing big deer as a 16, 17-year-old. And I saw y'all next to each other, and you'd been battling it out for K40 at state all year. It's like, come all the way here and see you again.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he made it in and lost out to my buddy that plays second in the shoot.
Yep. That is head to head is brutal because you don't know. I mean, we saw the pros had 3 660 shooters and only one made it to the final dance, So it's I mean, same thing happened to Paige Pierce. I mean, I think was that the girl that's dating Matthias Fullerton?
Julia? Yeah.
She can shoot, dude.
Oh, yeah.
She can shoot. I saw her up there on the big stage, and I'm like, yep. I bet if he was my coach, I could do pretty good too.
Well, I don't know. I've seen you go after it before, man. I don't know, Neil, if any coach would put you up that way.
I don't think so. I know it's better to be a has-been than it never was.
I respect that. So you shot them up Saturday. It was great. You had fun.
Yeah.
Did you make any greenbacks that you can come home with?
I think my mom said I won 150 replacing top 16.
Did you try to take out any fuel cost or anything like that out of it?
She hasn't said anything yet, but she'll probably try to.
Well, just to let you know, we did talk about it, and I believe that you're going to be able to keep it. But if she doesn't, come back. We know a good attorney that can get a contract filled out real quick.
Yeah, we can get some debt collection going on for you. And I was going to say, you got to, if the check's made out to you, you got to sign the back of it. That's the only way it's getting cashed. So careful what you write your name on around the house.
Yeah, that's right.
So if you would have kept, because you won your first shoot off, and then you went down in the second, if you would have kept going all the way to the finals, would you have had to drop out of the Easton Collegiate shoot to go be in the finals for the young adult division?
No, that was the next day, the young adult shot. So
they spaced it out enough to where you could get to both.
Yeah, and there was, even if I did have to shoot Saturday that afternoon after, there was a Sunday line for that collegiate shoot too.
Okay.
Oh, I didn't realize that, dude. They filled out 135 bales.
Yeah.
4 people to a bale and still had a second line.
Yeah.
Dude, that thing has grown. I didn't realize they shot Sunday also. Rick and I was talking there, and I was telling him, I said, it'll all be tore down. And I did not realize that. That is awesome. Yeah.
Do we know by the numbers if Lancaster is bigger or smaller than Vegas?
It's a touch smaller. I mean, Vegas tapped out at 4,000 something. This was 3,014 this weekend.
3,014. Okay.
Yeah.
So I was talking to somebody that doesn't do a lot of indoor. He's like, what does that mean? And I was like, well, Nemes is big. World Cup for U.S. Archery is probably pretty big, but Vegas and Lancaster pretty much top 2, top 3. Got to be. Indoor Nationals probably not as big as Lancaster. Hasn't been in a few years probably.
I think the NFAA stouts the Vegas as the world's largest shoot.
Okay.
I think I've just heard that. I don't know. I may be talking crooked. But.
If Bruce Cole would call me back and come get on this podcast, we'd get all the answers. I've been bugging him like I'm paid to do it. It's like, come on, do a Rumble preview. Let's get everybody to go. And Mr. Rumble, I was like, come do a Rumble recap and a Vegas preview. Let's get everybody ready to go. It's like, I know he's busy. That dude's got so many irons in the fire. Every time you see him, he's got a cup of coffee in his hand, 3, 4, 5 in the afternoon.
Yep.
Yes, sir. I've been there.
So when did y'all pull out, Isaiah?
We pulled out Tuesday at I think 6 in the morning.
Okay. What about coming home?
We pulled out yesterday at I think 5 in the morning.
5 in the morning. When'd you get home?
We got home at 12.
Midnight. Yeah, that's a long old day in a car. So that's a lot of time to sit and think of 1, 2, 3, 6 shots, let alone 120.
Oh, yeah.
So you got home, you went to bed, you got up today. Come on, tell us. Did you get started working on your equipment?
So I got up this morning and started building arrows for 3D.
You're done with it, huh?
I'm not done with it, but I got to shoot this weekend and I have nothing set up for it, so I need to get something built.
Okay. Well, tell us about it. What'd you end up doing? Did you do anything for the? Let's take a step back. Did you do anything to your setup now that you will go do for another indoor shoot, or did you say, okay, that's good, I'm just going to worry about 3D?
I'll leave that red one set up for indoor, and just only thing difference is I'm going to run a pin instead of a dot for 3D. That's the only difference.
What size pin? What color?
It's a green. I think it's a 10,000ths.
Okay. So what power lens?
6.
You know what aperture size?
It's the second to smallest one, but I need to go one bigger.
Yep, that's where I'm at too. What clarifier?
I couldn't tell you which clarifier is in it.
Probably a B or an A minus.
Probably.
Yeah.
Or A plus or an A.
Yeah.
I saw the new Hamsky peeps instead of A, B, C, D. It's A minus, A plus, and B, which is the 4 everybody in the world's got a C and a D sitting there gathering dust. Like nobody's using it. Let's just make it the 4 that everybody used the most.
Yeah.
I think good on Hamsky. Now I got to go buy another 4 Hamsky kits for $1,000. It's like, golly. Anybody out there's got an old style housing, I'm looking for one.
Yeah.
So what are you trying to accomplish with your 3D setup? What kind of arrows you're thinking?
I'm going to shoot the Gold-Tip 9.3s.
Okay. Well, that'll transition over for you others, wasn't it, then, for your USA stuff? Yeah,
the only difference is my 3D ones will be a little bit lighter than my indoor ones.
As far as tip weight, shorter? They're going to be.
I'll keep them the same length.
Okay.
I say your draw link's like 30 inches, isn't it? They're pretty much. I mean, you just cut about that much off of them just to square it.
That's what I cut some this morning. I mean, I probably cut that much off. That was it.
Didn't waste any carbon then.
No.
What about point weight in them? What are you going from indoor up here to down here?
I'm running, I think it's 130 for indoor, and I think it's like right at 180 or 130 for 3D and 180 for indoor.
Okay. That's pretty close.
Yeah, not bad.
Well, we talked about this weekend and all that, but, we've just not stopped and talked about Isaiah. How did you get into archery?
So it's kind of just a little bit 4-H, and we're shooting that, and, kind of got bored of just shooting 1 every year, 1 or 2 every year, and kind of wanted to get more into it and start finding more and shooting more.
Okay. So tell where does Isaiah live? Where does he go to shoot?
So I live in Kremlin, Oklahoma, and we've got a little shop that we got a little indoor range where I go to Okieland Bowhunter to shoot.
Very good. Very good.
So that's a drive, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a 2-hour drive.
That's a good little drive. Yeah.
That's a poke. How's the gas mileage in the truck?
My truck not very good.
So you better win something to get home.
Uh-huh.
So he's shooting with a purpose, man.
Yeah.
But you're not shooting against other young adults. You're shooting against grown men and taking their money home 9 days out of 10.
Try to, anyways.
Dude, it's hard on Wednesday night jackpots at Okieland. They got, you got Lawson Vet, you got Chad Hilburn, you got Kyle, you got Chris Hammond. You got
Sly.
4 or 5 pros all there all the time. Colby Crooks shows up. Jack Simmons will throw down a big score. Heath and Bren can put them in there. So, if you don't shoot a 98 or a 99, on a Vegas face, there's just not a lot of chance.
I know the one 299 made it, and even some of the 299 guys didn't make it because there's that many of them.
Wow. Yeah. How do you prep for your tournaments, Isaiah? What do you kind of do?
I just kind of go in there just trying to stay cool and I know I can shoot it. I mean, I shoot them all. I mean, I shoot good scores a lot of time in practice, so just kind of stay strong and make sure my shots stay good.
There you go. Sometimes simplicity is good, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's your shot process like once you knock an arrow? What are you thinking in your head?
I try not to think too much. That's kind of what I was messing with that Saturday shoot because I'm a command shooter, and so I was just kind of figuring out if I think about hitting the trigger, wrapping, hitting if it makes it worse or better. But I just kind of figured is just don't think about anything, just aim center and just kind of stare at it, and just kind of let my thumb wrap around and do it itself.
There you go. Simple. It really is. So it does take care of itself.
Yeah.
Would you say you're a command shooter, or would you say you're a controlled shooter?
It kind of depends. I know, like especially the Saturday shoot towards the end, I was definitely swinging on the trigger a couple times.
120 shots in within just a few hours, bud. Yeah. Did you stop and go grab anything to eat?
Right after the shoot downs, we ate a little bit. All I had before.
I say, because dude, you had what? 22 ends on the first one, and 8 more ends. That's 3 games right there. Plus, you win another 22 ends. Yeah, you shot 5 1/4 games all in one day.
Yes.
Wow. That's.
The
bow get heavy on you, or is it just the adrenaline keeps it light?
The adrenaline keeps it light, and I try to shoot enough arrows a day where the bow doesn't ever really seem like it gets heavy.
There you go. And I know you've shot a heavier bow, so it's at least manageable.
Oh yeah, I mean it's definitely easier when I've run a really heavy bow before. You kind of go back and it's just a little bit lighter.
At what point did you start taking stabilizer weights off? Was it dipping in the front, or was it just
it? It just kind of depends for like indoor and stuff. Like for 3 and 5 spots, I can't run that much weight because by the time you get towards the end, you start getting droopy and your arms start getting heavy. But for like 3D, I may switch a V-bar back on there at some point and run a lot of weight, but I haven't messed enough with it yet.
Pretty good, solid strategy. Dave told me last year, he goes, "It's one arrow. Load it up, dude. Load it up. Like make it unmanageable."
Yeah, I remember our bars used to be made of solid metal. Yeah, they were all different back then. I had one custom-made carbon bar. The guy used to take not two-part epoxy, silicone, and he'd fill it full of silicone, and then he'd be dropping lead shot in it. He'd let it harden up wherever you wanted your weight. That's what he'd fill it up to, and then stop and let it dry, then fill up lead shot, and then start filling it up again. I mean, those things could be, golly, they'd be 1.5 pounds just all by themselves without the weights.
Golly.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
Yeah. I had one hollow tube that was 1 3/4 inches diameter. Well, that's just the way they were made. I mean, I left it sitting outside, and my son beat a stump with it.
So what are you looking forward to most for 3D season? I know it's kind of the end of the indoor, but 3D is just right around the corner. What's the biggest draw for you?
Not too much. I mean, I'm ready for Foley definitely to see kind of how I do.
You want to get to roll to Foley?
Yes.
Cool. So are you done with indoors?
No, we leave I think the 7th and 8th this coming month we go to Albuquerque for the USA, and then the 14th through the 16th Chicago 5 spot.
Gonna go do indoor nationals. And
then they threw Vegas right in the middle of 3D season too.
Oh, it's not right in the middle. Come on. I was talking with your mom and she was telling me about she's going out there to run a shoot or something like that. I don't remember what it was, but yeah.
Shoot in Vegas.
Yeah.
in that one.
Cool. You gonna be able to shoot that, or is she gonna have you? I was gonna say, is she gonna have you tied up taking entries or something?
No, I'm gonna be shooting it.
I say that is one group of people out there. Twisted Arrow is the team out of Kremlin, Enid area.
Yeah.
They've got kids that shoot all over the state, but they're taking them coast to coast between USA Archery, S3DA, ASA, NFAA, you name it, they're there. So hats off to y'all for not missing a single tournament ever anywhere. It's pretty. I know it's a long spring and summer, but it's got to be worth it when you see the kind of talent that's being pumped out of that program.
Yeah,
it shows people want to sit there and spend money thinking it's going to make them a better archer. And I'm the first one to tell them, go to a tournament, go to the biggest shoots you can, see what your nerves do, see what the bow does, and then come home, tear it down, build it back, and go to the next one. Like it. You're 17 years old and you've been to Vegas, you've been to Lancaster, you've been to pretty much everything out there.
Yeah.
Just now kind of getting your foot in the door in the industry. I think that's something that other people with kids that want to shoot archery can look at. Like, yeah, you're going to buy a lot of tires and a lot of oil changes. But when you look at like what the results are, it's easy to see, man. Proof's in the pudding.
What's your goals for shooting archery? Do you want to continue on, or you just tell us about it?
I mean, the plan definitely would be go pro at some point and go to college for it.
Okay.
Are you looking at different colleges right now?
Yeah, there's a couple of colleges, but I'm still kind of iffy on which one I want to do and stuff.
They're all sending you scholarship offers, aren't they?
I got quite a bit of scholarship offers.
There you go. Anybody big? Any schools that we've heard of?
I feel like Cumberland's, I think, have been in there, and
Oh.
a couple of other big ones I can't remember the names of.
Yeah.
Cumberland would definitely be a nice one if something down the road, maybe.
You know what you're going to study in undergrad?
No.
Business management and marketing.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Working out of that C mobile bow shop's what we're going to be doing. That's the retirement plan right there. Come back for summer and hand you over the keys, and you can go anywhere, work on people's bows and give lessons, whatever else.
Yeah.
That's the end goal right there. Get paid to do what you want to do.
Oh, yeah.
Well, do you like even working on equipment? I mean, I hate getting a new bow and just getting started. Gosh, I hate that.
It's not too bad. I mean, I used to not do any of it, but now I'm starting to do more of it. It's kind of funnier when you know how to do it and you can do it yourself.
Yeah. So what would you tell other young men, young ladies? We'll say that they're out there, your age, a little more, a little less. What would you tell them on how to learn to work on equipment?
It's just kind of watching stuff. I mean, watching people do it and stuff has definitely helped with me anyways.
So just jump in and say, okay, I've watched you do this. Let me try it now.
I'll not jump into it. I mean, definitely. I mean, I've watched YouTube, and then being in Okieland, kind of watching and having them help me definitely helps push it along. But I mean, you start doing it at first and let them check it and help you figure out what you need to do different.
That's a good one right there. Do it, and then ask someone that has been doing it, hey, look this over for me before I pull it back.
Yeah.
There you go. I like that.
You got to make sure all your strings are in the grooves before you unpress it.
Oh, yeah.
I did that on one of my little ears on my tuning machine on my 35. Came over and split the string, and I was like, man, that looks ugly through paper. What in the world? And I looked down, and half of it's off the roller. I'm like, yeah, that probably ain't going to paper real good.
That'll do it. Yeah.
I mean, I bumped the rest and took the limb screw, put all the way down on one side, and tuned it, made it whole. I mean, made it bullet hole just like that. But went home and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't get that back on when I shimmed that cam. Whoops.
Yeah.
Whoopsies. But yeah, it's always an adventure when you're learning to work on your own equipment, and it's nerve wracking when you're sitting there cutting the serving off the peep sight and hoping you don't slice 3 strands off your new string. It'll make your hand shake all of a sudden. What's the best advice you can give to diving in like that? It just, do you have, somebody there with you? It's like, hey, I'm going to do this on my own. Tell me when I screw it up or stop me before, or do you just full send it? And if it blows up, we got another one.
Don't full send. I mean, it's kind of slowly do it. I mean, I had my one lift I sold now, but I was doing it on my own and cutting the peep size string off. I cut the string on it. So, I mean, it's kind of, you got to wait until you do it yourself and kind of figure out what all you need to do so you don't mess stuff up.
I see a target behind you with an arrow sticking in it.
Mm-hmm.
Did you shoot a little bit there in your house?
I shot a little bit. That one's not mine, but I shot a little bit in the house. But being as tall as I am, the ceilings are kind of short. I can't really shoot much in here.
I'll say I see some paper on the walls back there and stuff. That's what I was going to ask you. Are they covering up any holes?
No, there's no holes in these walls yet anyway. We've been good about that.
I say the next thing to learn is going to be plastering instead of just bow work.
Done it. Thought the D loop was seated. That's why I put it on the draw board and crank it back that first time just to make sure it's going to hold. Yeah. Chris Simmons told me that trick. It's like, you tied 100 D loops and one of them is going to slip off and break your nose and look like Dave Bosca. So you just got to put it in the draw board one time and just crank it back, let it off, make sure it's good. Tied one on last night for everybody thinking it's about that long. He goes, yeah, I like it a little longer. Sit there, a piece of D loop like that big. God dang. All right, man. If that's how you want it, you got it.
Well, the travel's over for the weekend. Would you want to go back next year?
Yes. I think next year be a little bit tougher because I'd be in the men's class. So that'd be a good competition.
Oh, it would be. Yeah.
Yeah.
So where does that break? 17's a top?
18 okay. Depending on your birthday. It depends when your birthday lands.
Okay.
But this will be my last year for young adult for anything.
Okay. And shooting that extra collegiate part?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, the collegiate part, I guess there's college teams and stuff that shoot it, so I could shoot that.
So that would even pick up a little bit of the jack again if you did get a scholarship.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, good. Well, Neil, I can't come up with anything else. Isaiah, I'm sure he's got some arrows to fletch. Sounds like
he's back to world domination, ruining grown men's day. They got to go to work and pay the mortgage afterwards, and he's sitting there with all their money. So going to school the next day. So yeah, it's a full-time occupation beating up on everyday Joes. But I mean, you see it all the time. I mean, I say kids, I know he's an adult, but Bodie Turner, I mean, you're within 18 months of his age and he's already won 2 Vegas, 2 Lancaster, a Rumble or 3. And, I mean, you're right there knocking on the door. So I know everybody in Oklahoma is rooting for you, but pretty soon it'll be a bunch of people nationally.
Yeah.
Before you go, drop your socials and tell everybody what team or teams you shoot for. And, if there's anybody in your family you want to shout out or thank, go ahead.
So my Instagram and Facebook, just Isaiah Ryel at Archery. And then the teams I shoot for Twisted Arrow, then Okieland Bowhunters Shop. And it's mom and dad mostly for helping me get the stuff bought and everything I need.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Isaiah, we appreciate it. And I appreciate allowing us to hang out with y'all this weekend. We were back there in the cheering section. So we do appreciate it. I had a blast watching. You were doing really good. It was great to watch.
Thank you.
Yeah. Neil, what else you got, buddy?
We'll see everybody at the ASA opener this weekend. Get your memberships ahead of time. Be sure to bring some cash to play the raffle ticket games. Other than that, just say be patient with our hosts. It's going to get hectic. I'm sure we're going to have 100 and however many. Looking forward to a good season opener. I hope the weather's good. Somebody wanted us to share. Go check our Facebook page. One group real quick. I want to get up here. It's oh gosh, where is that? Give me a second here. The ETO, oh my gosh, that's something in native. Red Stick River Bow Shoot, March 22nd. 2025 from 9 to 5 at the Hannah Indian Community Center. Registration is open from January 15th to February 28th. It's $30 per shooter. It is a 1.5 mile 3D course, compound and traditionals, open to the public. Had somebody reach out on the podcast page, said,
Cool.
hey, share this
Great.
around here. I said, yeah.
Yeah.
Anything we can do, open to the public. If y'all have questions, 3D or anything archery related, drop us a message. We're, me and Dave are bored. Neil ain't got no day job. So we're pretty much just hanging out in the bullpen, waiting on somebody to have something they need help with or a question answered.
All right.
I appreciate you guys
You
sitting down.
bet. Isaiah, thanks, bud.
Yeah.
Glad y'all made it in. Neil, see you on the flip flop. Bye, guys.
But